Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is October 8th. As you can see, we got a little snow this week. On our way out, we need to pull some maintenance on the skid steer. And there's a few other things to do. The disking is done. It's gotten too hard, so we're going to pull the disc off the tractor, get the ballast box on, and make sure it's ready for picking logs up and that kind of stuff.
Try to do some drone footage, and hopefully we can get that to you this winter.
So we got things to do. Dogs are loaded, vehicles are running and warmed up, so we'll get out there. We might have 4 inches total, maybe 5. It was a couple inches one time, and then 2 or 3 inches the next time. This morning it was about 26 degrees, so not super cold, but it's coming. There's a little bit of a light dusting of snow on the vehicles this morning. I see somebody's already got their snow machines out. Definitely getting to be that time of year. The thing to remember about our part of the interior, we don't get a whole lot of snow. Yeah, a few feet, something in that. It's definitely enough to get around on a snow machine most years, but it is not high snow levels. We're not near the coast, so we don't get the record amounts of snows like they do in Valdez or places like that. Looks like the contractor's been grading the road, which is good. They got a lot going on. And as you can see in this video, I had a setting messed up, so it is all in the small format. I hope I've got that all figured out for the next video. We're gonna find out. The boat launch is quiet. But the river's still flowing. You could be on it in a boat if you wanted to. At 26, 27 degrees, it sure wouldn't be very pleasant, that's for sure. Well, that slough is froze. I wouldn't walk on it, but talking about lows next week into the mid-teens. It might get a little lower than that. Highs will be right at freezing or below freezing. So pretty much that effectively ends fall for us, and winter is here as of mid-October. And we really won't see much in the way of above freezing temperatures until maybe March and into April. Occasionally you get a Chinook will come through and it'll be a little warm for a few days or a week. So wintertime temperatures are going to be somewhere around 0, 10 degrees, 20 degrees. We can go for a week or two down to minus 40, even minus 50 is not uncommon for us. The last few years have been pretty mellow years, and we sure haven't had much in the way of super cold, which has been kind of nice. But there's also other years where the high for an entire week or 2 weeks or even longer can be 20 below for the high, and the low can be 40 and 50 below. And that definitely wears on you after a period of time. So it does tend to be dry when that happens. So it's a lot like being in Arizona on a really hot day when it's low humidity, or you can be in South Carolina on a kind of warm day with high humidity. That humidity makes a big difference, but the equipment still know it's cold. And 50 below, things get funny. Anybody that's ever been out at those temperatures, steel breaks, close your door, your window breaks, tires go flat for no reason. Just getting the vehicle to start can be a challenge. So of course everybody has plug-ins and heaters. You tend to let your vehicle run a lot. Just because it is so cold. It's not uncommon to go to the movie theater or Walmart and see a large majority of vehicles idling in the parking lot. So just because they don't want groceries to freeze or there's a pet inside for whatever reason. When it gets really cold or there's a lot of snow, we won't be doing a whole lot out at the farm just because it's hard on the equipment. It takes so long to do things, and trying to get that little bit of land cleared or that one project done, spending an entire day or maybe a week, when in the summer it would be a matter of hours or even minutes. It's best to wait and do things we can do, which is be maintenance, planning, strategy. For us, trying to get things like seed and equipment organized and shipped to make sure it's here by April, so we have it for May. Those are the things that will be happening this winter. Going to try to make sure the videos are flowing. It's obvious just by watching our videos that we do need a shop or a enclosed building on the farm for maintenance and whatnot. That'll be in the works. I do not know if that will happen next summer or not. We'll see. Have to figure out whether we're going a metal building, a fabric building. Given wood prices, probably not a wood building. So every type has its advantage and has its disadvantage. Definitely be interested in comments. If anybody has any ideas or thoughts. So shipping is a big concern for us. It can take a very, very long time to get something, and the cost can be 4 or 5 times whatever it is in the lower 48. So relatively involved, and that makes a difference too. You're looking at something that is maybe going to last longer. You may be willing to pay the extra to get it here, or in the case of a building, if a fabric building is easier to ship but only has a 30 or 40 year life expectancy, but it is much cheaper than a metal building, that may be the way to go for a time being. So we got to weigh our options and figure out what the plan is there, because this is the time of year to pull maintenance and do repairs, and you need somewhere inside to do that. So, but today we're working outside because that's what we have to do. Actually have a little bit of snow. Take the gate down, get it out of the way. Adrian's right behind me. I believe she stopped and checked the mail. You guys remember just a little while ago there was a fire burning over there and it was like 70 or 80 degrees. Not so much now. You know, every place has its challenge, no matter where you're at in the world, whether you're in the tropics, you know, the Midwest, you name it. It's hard for a lot of people to fathom. Here it is, basically the 1st of October, October 8th, and winter's here. And the snow you see on the ground will not be melting. This snow will be here until April. There's no warm days. There's no times when it warms up to 60 degrees and all the snow melts and then it comes back again. This is winter, and this is the way it is in the interior and most of Alaska. Winter is winter, and for us the good news is summer is summer.
You want to get in the car, Dusty Dog? Come on. The girls are up here, and Dusty's over there. We're gonna get him in his car. All kinds of noises going on out here. Beautiful sunrise this morning. You want to get in the car? Okay, come on, I'll open the door. Come on. Come on, Dusty. Come around. A new car for the dog mobile. You want to load up? He says, yep, my feet are cold. Hey, where are you girls going? Got the generator going for the warm up the dozer. Tractor. Everything lined up. Snowing a little bit. Beautiful sunrise. The girls. Let's check and see what Dave's doing in here. That barely fit. ingenuity heater system. Back here and look. So we got our heat going on in there. Moving the skid steer forward so we can work on the back end, change the oil, look at all the filters and everything else.
That's good. Okay, and I mentioned it before, the maintenance on this skid steer is actually relatively easy. The oil change is not a big deal to do. Drain plug is easy to get to. There's a big inspection cover. We also have to clean out the material that gets trapped in there, dust, dirt, debris, pieces of wood. And it's a real treat to be able to do this inside the Logic shelter, getting out of the wind and the cold and the snow, having a dry, warm place to work on the machine is very nice. And this is the 1,000-hour maintenance, so it's the third oil change. We are doing them a little ahead of schedule, along with making sure everything's cleaned out really good and just going through the piece of equipment. As we know, is we use it during the winter when in cold, long nights and short days. We definitely didn't want to have to be doing maintenance as well.
I think I'm going to need them.
And it's a good idea to thaw it out really well, get the ice out. That way you can make sure everything is okay. Hey, look at that. Actually hit the bucket without making a big mess. And like the oil drain, the oil filter is really easy to get to as well. You can actually reach in, put a wrench on it, loosen it up, spin it off, put the new filter on. The inspection hole in the bottom is big enough for the oil to drain down that leaks out from around the filter. And here we are removing the cover that goes over the accessory belts. Hadn't inspected the belts real close yet in a while. Needed to look at them and everything else. Again, just another example of how easy it is to get to maintenance. Pull that cover off. All the belts are easily accessible. And in this case, they're just standard V-belts, nothing fancy. We did notice they needed just a little bit of adjustment. So with an improvised pry bar, we got them all snugged up. Okay, after we pulled a bulk of the maintenance, we needed to go use the skid steer and heat up the final drive so we can get the oil out of them easier. And so while Dave went mulching for a little bit, me and Adrian went to go burn some piles. Okay, this is the last large pile left over from the summer. So we're going to get it lit up. Dave's just over around the corner mulching. So like this one, got a little light snow. Obviously there's about 4 inches of snow on the ground, so a good time. This one should burn up pretty good. We'll see what happens. Okay, got this fire started. This pile is mainly popple, so it's going to take it a while. It's not like dry spruce, but it's burning good. We're almost to the back side of the property. Just right around the corner there behind Dave. pretty windy, about a 20-mile-an-hour wind. Okay, here's that fire that we started. It's been about 20 minutes. It's gaining steam. Really nice to have this little bit of snow cover. Makes burning these piles way more pleasant. Fixing me lunchtime for us, so we're gonna have lunch, and we should be able to see this pretty good from up on the hill. We can keep an eye on it. We'll come back and check in on it here in a few hours, and it should be nothing but a pile of smoldering ashes. Okay, from the corn patch, we're looking over at that fire. Kind of cool. Changing the final drive oil. Cat wants it every 500 hours, and we're fixing to be at 2,000. It's gear lube, so it's going to be thick.
And stinky.
Smells like gear lube. Gear lube is kind of stinky.
See?
Rotate these sideways and refill it with new oil.
It's doing the same thing on the other side.
Stick inside. You want to go by feel?
I don't know where this should be laying.
There's a specification for the track tension. Dave went ahead and cut a stick to the right thickness so you can slide the stick in like a go, no-go gauge. Makes it a lot faster when you're tensioning the track. You just pump it up till the stick barely touches and call it good. Then with that, Dave's putting the final cover on, and we've got our maintenance all done. So now we can get busy and go back to work, getting some more land cleared. Snow's not going to stop us today. It is very true, you make do with whatever you have. And as we would like to have a big, shiny, fancy new dozer, this old John Deere does a really good job. Believe it or not, it'd be pretty easy to get too big of a dozer for this project. But on a day like today, an enclosed cab would be kind of nice to have a little heat. Something about moving across the farm on a dozer at a slow pace. It really gives you a chance to look at the lay of the land and see what all's been accomplished this year. And to dream a little bit about what the future will bring, what crops you'll plant, where you'll plant them, and how they'll do. Well, pushing logs together, it's not perfect. The little dozer does an okay job. Be nice to have a root rake. Eventually, it's about 26 degrees, brisk wind, so it's not exactly perfect. But I'll tell you what, there's no mosquitoes. Okay, here's a little video sped up. When you first start pushing a pile of logs together, they're all spread out, and it seems a little slow and a little frustrating, and you wonder if you're ever going to get it done. But as the minutes tick by, and before long, you start to see progress. And I'm definitely not trying to get every itty-bitty little log and piece of wood. I'm getting the larger stuff and the things that the mulcher would have to spend a fair bit of time grinding on to chew up. So, I'm making the job more efficient all the way around. I'm doing my part to get the big woody debris out of the way, and then Dave will come back through and remulch this again to take out all the brush, little roots that are close to the surface, and get it all smoothed out. So in a little over an hour, we've got all that cleaned up. You can actually see it as becoming part of the field. And as always, the ultimate goal is not to get any dirt into the pile. You occasionally get a little bit with the dozer. It's kind of hard to avoid that, but it is very, very minimal. Everything we do is to try to keep everything right where it is on the ground. That way all the nutrients and all the good stuff is right where it needs to be when it comes time to plant a crop. I always have to be kind of mindful of where I left the camera. Sometimes I go off working and forget about it. I do worry a little bit Dave's going to come along with the mulcher. And I'm pretty sure the camera would not react well to the mulcher. Might make for some good footage though. Well, we got the wood all piled up. Now it's time to light it on fire. And that leaf blower sure comes in handy to get it going fast. There's that big pile that we lit first thing we got here. Nothing left. Okay, well, it's kind of the end of the day on Saturday. Probably didn't get near enough stuff videoed, but did our darndest. Well, after dinner, went back out to check on the fires and decided I'd go ahead and take the tractor and pick up some logs. The lights are really good on the tractor, and there's plenty of logs on the edges of these clearings to grab and can take over and drop in the fire. Sometimes it seems a little slow and tedious, but you have to keep in mind every log that gets burned up is one less log to have to handle or deal with. And so far, the tractor's been doing a really good job. It is definitely not the skid steer, nowhere near as maneuverable, but it picks up a lot, and the bucket and grapple does stick way out in front of it, so you can reach into the brush and grab logs. Comes in handy. Oh, George is here. Good morning, everybody. It is a snowy Sunday morning. Got about an inch of snow overnight. It's almost 8 o'clock. Truck's warmed up. Got a few more things to do out at the farm. It be limited on what we can do on a snowy day like this, but we got some things to do, so we'll get out there and get busy and see where the day leads us. Yeah, just kind of a snowy morning. Really a light snow. The wind actually blows it around more than anything. So they say 2 to 4 inches today through tomorrow, which is about right. Just a slow, steady one. High around 31 degrees, maybe. The lows, I imagine, in the upper 20s. So we'll turn you around here. Just starting to get light. stays snowy all day, it'll be a little better than this, but it won't be a whole lot better. It's kind of a flat white light. Yep, it is windy and snowy. I don't know, more than 10 mile an hour, maybe 20 mile an hour wind. So not uncommon for here, especially in the winter. Dave's just got filled up and he's ready to go, so he's headed out. He's gonna mulch for a bit today. I mean, there's 4 or 5 inches of snow on the level, so it's not too bad for clearing. Better than nothing. The good news is there's no dust, so that's nice. So, as you can see, we haven't plowed or anything. It's just, you know, it's blown and drifted the snow. Guys, okay? Ooh, a little fall, huh? Yeah, there goes Dave. Well, one of the projects for today was to get everything off of the trailer that we put on it to get that combine moved. This is one of those projects I was not looking forward to because the snow will have covered up all the screws, so I have to go seek out every one of all those screws we put in. But it definitely needed to be done. Okay, just taking out the supports, pulling this decking off. Don't want to lose any screws. Nice not to have to wonder if you're going to get a flat tire somewhere. Lunchtime. If you can hold on to it. Okay, on a snowy Sunday, that's where we'll end this video. Hope everybody's having a great day. Sure appreciate you watching and following along with us. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. It's always kind of mesmerizing watching the ice flow down.